it's totally different, but the one
Yeah.
with the soft wing is very good, but it's different than paragliding. Um, you got to lean back and take off and run, where the other you have to leap like a frog to take off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Um.
if you want to take it and put it in your car and go somewhere, then it's the soft wing. If
No,
you
definitely.
do the soft wing, just stay with that until you get good. Then you can go up to the next level.
Yeah. No, definitely. And even I think with a small backpack, it could be transported in a car. You know what I mean? If you have like an SUV, you can have a nice, a
Yeah,
small
but
motor,
you
not too.
can't do that with the trikes. You cannot do
Oh
that with
no,
the
no, no,
trike.
no, no, definitely.
Yeah,
No, you gotta have you gotta have a trailer for that. Definitely,
right.
you gotta carry a trailer. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's a whole other complicated. You need this. You can go to any beach, park, go on the dune, take off, fly back. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna bother you, and you
Yeah.
don't go into any of the controlled airspace near airports, and you're
Correct.
fine.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you see Rackham the other day? He flew on one of those trike ones.
No, I didn't see it.
He he,
Yeah,
po-
those are.
he
Yeah.
posted a video of it. I'm probably sure he probably did it down somewhere in Florida. Um.
Yeah, he lives down in
Yep.
south of Miami.
Yep.
Yeah.
So down there is beautiful. I mean, I would definitely do something down there. Where I would go and
Yeah, you get
fly
training. You get
down in
training down there.
exactly that. And I think I told you this last time. One of the times that I was down there, I reached out in not Hempstead. Is it Hempstead? Down south of Miami.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, Homestead.
Homestead. Thank you, Homestead. Yep, yep. I spoke to a guy who has, I guess, one of those places where you can go out and he'll give you an introductory flight or whatnot. But when I spoke to him, he was not doing it. So I was like, man, what a bummer. But yeah, unfortunately, around here, um, there's really, if at least last time I checked, there was nobody local here in the area that I live. So I didn't kind of pursue it. And many, many, many years ago, before I had kids, my wife and I went to our one of the local airports that's nearby, north of us here, about 30 miles from here. They they have a hang gliding club.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I was like, I looked into it and all that, but it was just too much commitment because
Oh, it is. It
you
is. Yep.
you get to you get a weekend where you fly, but then you gotta donate your other 2-3 weekends for multiple, because this particular club had a couple of airports that they fly out of. So then you have a weekend that you go out and fly, but then the other weekends you got to go and support. Obviously, it makes sense. So it's just we just did not have that time
Yeah.
to do
No, it's a big commitment. No,
it.
you can't do it just in a weekend or two. You got to do it. It takes years to get
Yep.
really proficient, and yeah. But once you start, you got to make up your mind which one you want to start
Oh
with.
no, definitely. How did you get into the gliding?
I
Have you
flew
done?
it. I went on a tandem flight in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then I trained out there, and then I flew out there, and then I started flying out in California at
Nice.
Torrey Pines, and that's where I go now.
Where's where's
Um,
where's that at? Is that Northern
La
California or
Jolla, La Jolla, south near San Diego.
oh South? Okay, so you got good weather down there. Beautiful
Yeah,
weather.
it's 20 minutes, half hour from San Diego Airport.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Yeah.
They do it out there also, the motor, but mostly the off the hill. Then you got to train. You have to do your kiting and set up your harness
Hello.
and your wing. Hello.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jigs. I have to run.
Okay,
Um,
good. Speak to you
Food has
soon. Nice
arrived.
talking.
So definitely, nice chatting with you, and we'll continue with this conversation next time I catch up with you. I
Thank
every time
you.
I kind of come on the channel here, it's kind of hard to speak because
I know.
if if you don't get on unmuted, thanks to who was it? Who must have unmuted me? I forgot. I don't know who. But anyways, appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thanks for your time. You have a good one, and we'll catch up with you another day.
Thank you. Have a good day
Thank
and
you.
night. Bye.
Mr. Jiggs answering hand gliding questions like I answer drone questions.
Yeah, I've been flying my drone here. It's been pretty good. I almost lost it over the water the other night, but I had to push the home button. I hate using the home button because that doesn't make you proficient. You always have to have your eye on it. But then I looked at my tracks and I took it back on the track and then I couldn't see it. It got a little foggy. So I said, let me just put it to home. Got it back and that was it. I'm just going over to fly now.
That's all right, buddy. I've been flying for 25 years, and the drones I've been doing for 9 years, and I still use the home button when I get way out there, and I don't want to fiddle with the way back. It's a little bit cruise control. What do you have your height set at when you return to home, RTH? You still there, Jigsy?
What kind of, I lost you because I was in a bad area. What kind of flying did you do before the drone?
Say again, buddy. Repeat.
What kind of flying did you do before the drones?
Oh, I did big scale, 50cc,
Right,
100cc,
right, right.
gassers, fixed
Motor.
wing helicopters,
Yeah.
3D flying,
Uh-huh.
obviously glow and electric.
Yeah, they do that at Torrey Pines too. They have remote controls, but no motors, only the wind.
Uh, so they do slope soaring.
Yes. Float plane.
Yeah, I've dabbled in a little bit of DL, dynamic lift soaring, where they do like 300 miles an hour in a circle just using the wind.
Oh gosh. Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I've never got to that speed, but I have got over 100 miles an hour on my slopers, my DL dynamic, my DS dynamic soaring rigs, carbon fiber and Kevlar based.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Don't want that sucker to hit you, man. It'd cut you in half, 300 miles
Oh
an hour.
God, I know. When I fly the drone, it gets too close. My wife gets nervous. Oh, you're gonna kill yourself with that. You know how it is. I get them right. I land it like I can almost hold it. That's how close I get it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, in those slope soarers, those guys that are real good at it, doing those dynamic soaring. Uh, I've seen rigs. I've seen gliders circle around doing over 200 miles an hour, and it's kind of scary. It's. I mean, now they're up to 300 miles an hour, but you know, back what 13 years ago, it was 210 and 211 was like really super high end. You know, right at 200. And when they're whipping around at 200 miles an hour, I get down on the ground. It's like, man, that sucker ever hit you, it'd take your head off
Oh,
or an arm or
yeah.
something.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's
My
fast.
pylon,
200 miles.
yeah, I got pylon racers that do 120 flat and level. My fixed
Wow.
wing, I did fixed wing pylon racing,
Hmm.
uh, uh, LOS line of sight.
Uh-huh. You ever
That's
do
probably
it
the
that
funnest.
with GPS?
No, no. My drone racing, that's a little bit different because you're actually like inside the aircraft flying it. uh, Pylon racing, where you're outside with helmets and breastplates, where you're flying around yourself or near yourself, and your collar's
Wow.
got headgear on and breast gear, chest
Hmm.
gear.
I never saw
So
that.
yeah, so in the chest gear is optional, but everybody's mandatory for hard hats. But if one of them suckers hits you doing 120, you'd
Yeah,
feel it.
that's for sure. So you busy today or what?
Oh, wrapping up my day. Got my people on their cancer treatments, or I got them all delivered, and wrapping up my
Uh-huh.
day. Doing my one of
Good.
my favorite things is getting on here and listening to my boys on here talk some crypto.
Well, I had a hard time. I still have a hard time with my Coinbase. And the guy I call
Dang
Coinbase,
it!
he said on the phone, well, erase it, um, put it back in. I mean, uh, eliminate Coinbase and then reinstall it. I did it. Now won't even accept my password. I'm so crazy on this thing. But my
Yeah, I
daughter's
hear you.
coming. She'll get me squared out. And I'm not going to go back to them. I'm going to try another site.
Yeah, there's others that people like.
And that's it. I worked 4 hours this morning on it. And it was just so frustrating. I couldn't copy and paste. I went on to, whatever.
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
my old
I was listening.
story.
I was listening to you earlier. I was listening.
See, I don't, when I go onto MetaMask, I get my address, but then I paste it and copy it, but then I couldn't move it. So she'll show me next week. So that's it. Other than that, it's
Cool.
been beautiful, cool, nice day. How about
Nice.
down by you? Still
Oh, it's
hot?
been a beautiful day here in Kentucky. It's been awesome last 3 days. It's in the
Uh-huh.
middle 80s, low humidity, not a cloud in the sky. Can't ask for
Oh,
much more.
oh, that's nice. Very
Special
nice.
for this part of the state.
Oh, that's good. It's been very quiet on the chat.
Yeah, I think everybody's all kind of chill for a little while until things kind of start moving and RH gives a little something exciting. Or sometimes we're just happy with anything.
Yeah, but as I always say, it'll come
Yeah.
eventually, and that's it. The
Well,
whole market's, oh boy, another crazy day with the market
no,
today.
I'll go on Hex down 0.035 today. Man,
Yeah.
I wish I had a lot of more dry powder that Richard Hart wouldn't have talked me into buying earlier. Man, I got so excited I FOMO'd in because some of the stuff he said, it's like, dang it, I should have just waited. And I knew I should have waited too. I knew it, but it's like I just went by what he said. hey, just we're basically done with Pulsechain. Basically done. Christ, basically done. Supposed to be basically done, but things kind of changed. Of course, everything changes, right?
I
Whatever. I'm
think
just patiently waiting.
I think he's got it all worked out. Everything I think is working fine now. I think he's just waiting for the right time for the market. That's my feeling because it's still going to go down. There's so much craziness going on out there. I think around September when it starts picking up a little, everybody goes back to work. I think that's when he's going to launch September, October. He has to do it before the end of the year.
Mm. I actually have a little different view. I think he's at the total mercy of the developers, because the developers as a team, need to do a whole lot, and I mean, you just can't rush it. I mean, you can't.
No,
It
you
takes,
can't.
yeah. And these guys,
But
I
this
think
is
Richard Hart is dependent on them getting their job done, and they're dependent on each other to get things solved. And I don't think it's ready at all. I don't
you
think it'll be
don't
ready
think
till
so.
no. I don't think it'll be ready till after the beginning of the year, 2023. Maybe even a few weeks to months after. I just think it's going to be first quarter of 2023.
Really? That's your feeling,
hmm
huh?
I think it very well could launch right before or right as the documentary comes out, and the documentary comes out early 2023.
Yeah, but they were saying about the documentary. You want it done before. You don't want to do it at the same time and then I don't know.
I think he will sandbag it. I think he'll wait until the actual. I think he'll wait until the. It's not even a documentary. It's a docudrama. So it's part documentary and part scripted. So it's
Uh,
not even like it's not even a full documentary, which I thought it was a full documentary to begin with, but it's not. Not a true documentary. It's more a
and
docudrama.
and you don't think the system is all fine, finished?
No, I'm confident that it's not. I think he's dependent on the
Really?
devs to complete stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Really?
I got a lot of code writing friends in Silicon Valley I still talk to, and let's just say Richard's right. Software coding hard.
No, it's complicated, but then why, oh, it'll be a couple of weeks, another month, and that was when.
Oh, because I think he truly felt that things were really close. I mean, I think the devs thought that things are going pretty well, and then they don't. Once they find out breaches and openings and stuff like that, could cause things to test net. Everybody's trying to stress everything, and this last bit they started changing up the code. So once you change some things, you got to change other things. So it's not really cut and dry when you change stuff. It changes other stuff at the same time.
Huh, interesting. Wow.
I
Well,
mean, I'm not an expert on it by no means, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
But I don't think he's sandbagging it. I like I mentioned, I think he's totally at the mercy of the devs. So
Do you go on testnet?
I hope it's done. I hope it's going. I'm rooting for all you guys that saying it's going to be done here in a few weeks to a few months. I hope to goodness, man. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm pretty
Do you?
confident it won't launch. I don't think it'll launch until the beginning of 2023.
And what about you? Do you use the testnet a lot?
I get on there every now and then. I
And
don't
how do
use it a
you
whole lot.
find that? How does it work for you?
Just works fine. I just do simple stuff. I don't do a whole lot of. I mean, for me, I'm just going to settle my stuff once everything launches. I'm setting okay for my financial ability for PLS. I'm not. I don't have the kind of job where I can DCA in every week or two.
Uh-huh.
I'm a single dad, and my stuff lives. I live week to week, but I worked hard and paid for my home and paid for cars and all this stuff. Everything's kind of decent, right? I'm getting murdered here. I'm getting married here in a few weeks, so that's going decent. And
Well, that's
yeah,
nice.
So, but I live check by check like a lot of people do. So I
Uh-huh.
wish I could stay in. I blew my wad earlier on PLS last year when I thought it was going to launch in 2 to 5 weeks.
Crazy,
I
huh?
re- I
2 to 5
remember he
weeks.
was talking a couple months back when the sacrifice first
Yeah.
started.
Wow.
But I gotta
Amazing.
admit I gotta admit something. I've been in sales for 25 years, bro, and I can't I can't fault him for playing it up as much as possible to keep the ball rolling for Hex. I mean, that's what salesmen do. That's what we do. We talk it up. Got to keep that ball rolling, right? So
Oh,
at the same
absolutely.
time, I feel a little bit not fooled, but I feel a little bit misguided about where things are going. But then again, I kind of give him a thumbs up, like, hey, that's a salesman for you, man. You got it. I'm
Yep.
still here. So there
Hmm.
you go. I get it.
Well, I think we'll be all right once it goes. Until then, we got to sit back and just relax. That's all you could
Yeah.
do.
I hope it goes in the next few weeks, few months. I really do. I'm I'm right there smiling with you guys, hoping it will. Although for me, if it does, it's just bonus. I'm on the
Right.
ready to hurry up and get my stuff in my cold storage and just wait for a couple years. But it's crap. I can't wait for a couple years till it freaking launches.
I
So
know.
two two
Crazy.
to 2 to 4 years, I'm gonna hodl. But I can't start that 2 to 4 years till the freaking thing launches, right?
That's true. Yeah. All right. I got to go eat dinner.
Enjoy
I'll,
dinner.
I'll speak to you later. I put it on. I leave it on, but I don't answer because my wife kills me. You're back on that crazy thing again.
Okay, Jixie, take care, man. Enjoy dinner.
Thank you. Bye.
Hang in there, crypto drone. It'll be great. Be a roller coaster when it starts.
Yes, sir. I'm all buckled up for it. I'm waiting in line like you guys, just sitting back, having a beer, and just waiting and being patient and living my life to the best I can, and we'll wait and see. Got a lot of good stuff in the future.
Sounds great. You're going to get murdered. I mean, married soon. That's going to be.
Yeah, yep.
You're going to take the honeymoon.
Do what, bud?
So after the ceremony, it's traditional, I believe, to take a vacation with your new wife. It's
Yes,
called a
sir.
honeymoon.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
just thought that'll be something positive. That's something great to look forward to, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Vacation is well, well, well earned and well needed. And all my vacations have been to Ukraine, out of the country. So that'll be nice to um, not spend 37 hours on a trip just to get there.
What, wearing khaki, or that's been your traditional destination, but now it's a bit hot?
Yeah, Kharkiv. Yep, it's so what's left of it, a bit hot. Fortunately, we just caught word that her flat that they've owned for 35 years survived a lot of the attacks in the area. Although some of the streets around it didn't fare so well because she lived downtown Kharkiv. It does seem like her flat has survived without even a broken window at this point, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good news.
The neighborhood, though, is in shambles, including the the elementary school where they first went to seek refuge in the bomb shelters. That elementary school was totally demolished down the road.
Well, you've probably got a clearer insight into what's happened on the ground than most people, if you're connected in that way.
Yeah, I got a number of locals that I've been talking to for months. Direct video connection to and stuff. A lot of of course the men can't leave because that's the rule, and some other people. Although my fiance has stopped her mom from talking to the little old ladies who decided not to leave because all they got is a bunch of bad news, and my future mother-in-law just ends up crying the whole time talking. So I said maybe she shouldn't talk to them that much, you know.
Yeah, I know it can probably get a bit dark. Yeah.
Can be. So it's like, feel free to talk to her little old friends and stuff, fine, but try to keep it limited because it really is emotionally straining. Now there's a problem where so many people are asking her to use their flat to live in, and she's just like, you know, not the best idea right now because once you get somebody in, it might be harder to get them out. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But hopefully life will, it probably seems crazy right now, but life will get back to normal at some point.
Yeah, as long as Ukraine doesn't turn into Russia, things should be fine.
Yeah, I saw on various channels, I think US is shipping out quite a defensive force to completely contain the situation. So hopefully it stops where it is. But turning into Russia's, it's a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pissing Putin off that the Americans are helping Ukraine with smart artilleries. That's really putting a hurting on Russian things. I mean, Russia, they got a lot of their military is 30 years old. I mean, they got some new stuff, but a lot of their stuff they've been around for over 20 years. So some of these, tank busters that have been developed. So he's getting a little irritated now. I'm scared that he'll go into Poland. If he goes into Poland, it's like a NATO country, and then World War III will begin. That happens.
Yeah.
Just trying to just hold off another week and a half, man. As long as I get her here, her and her mom here, let's really hope things hold off until then. Because if the crap hits the fan and and no fly zone happens, then it's gonna suck.
Wow, that must be a heavy weight. You just have to wait for the scheduled flight, I guess.
Dude, I'm checking that freaking, I'm checking the news every morning, see what happened overnight. Because they're 7 hours ahead of us. And it's like, jeez, don't be screwing up, man. Gonna give me another week and a half. I'm going to get my family here, and I'll be a little less stressed about it. But I don't think he's that stupid to go into Poland, because I just don't think he's that stupid. But if Putin says it, you can pretty much go the 180% or 180 degrees opposite of what he says. It's been really consistent. Just go the completely opposite of what he says. So if he says he's going to attack Germany and Poland, he won't.
Nah, there's a lot of hardware there.
A lot. But he also said that he wasn't going to attack Ukraine. And I told her and her family and everybody there, I said, you don't understand. The United States sees. We can see them. Everybody's everywhere. The Russians are freaking everywhere, man. They're going to come in on you. And she's like, no, that would never happen. That would be stupid. And Ukrainians really, 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 really believe that would never happen. But anyway, a lot of people get weirded out about talking about. I don't really think that's politics. Won't talk about politics. Some people are against it. Some people are for Russia. We got a few Russian sympathizers here. That's fine.
Yeah, I try and look on the positive side without siding with them. If his declared objectives are true and he achieves them and withdraws, it won't be a bad thing.
Yeah. I just wish the Ukrainian president would have just laid off. Hey, just get the mirrors on the side and I get out of your hair. I just wish he would have laid off the whole NATO thing, because that's what Putin wanted. He just didn't want NATO in his backyard. But since they wouldn't lay off of it, they got a freaking war and just disrupted everybody's life.
Yep, 100%.
The weird thing about it was history has proven that NATO wasn't supposed to get that close to Russia from the very beginning, but they keep adopting countries which Russia didn't agree to from the very get-go. So that's kind of weird too. It's like, stop getting, you're going against, NATO's going against what they said originally by, they said they weren't going to adopt countries so close to Russia, and they did it anyway. So I can see how he gets a little irritated.
Yeah, that's it. Don't wake up the bear. Or something like that. Well, I don't know what the phrase is. It's something like "Don't disturb." Yeah, the bear.
Yeah.
The bear is Russia, right?
I'll be back in a minute. we're back.
So how did you hear about Hex Richard Hart?
Stand by here real quick. I'm going to listen, but I got to get back to my phone here in about 5 minutes. Hold on.
Oh.
Well, to answer your question, I'm not sure who asked me that. I'm driving. I don't know your name, but I heard about Richard Hart through one of my long-term friends, a neighbor in Silicon Valley. He calls me up. I don't live in California anymore, but he calls me up and said, "Hey, you do any crypto?" I said, "No, not well, a little bit." I said, "I do a little bit. You know, I know of it and got like piddly things here and there." He's like, "Well, let me tell you something." So he goes and tells me about Pulsechain back last year, November or October, right? And he talks about it being layer one, and talks about Richard Hart, who he is, who he's not. Sent me a bunch of links. Said, "You only got 7 more days, man. It's 28 days or 29 days or whatever it was, right? Got 7 more days." So it took a few days to think about it. And I actually got in on day 18 of 19. I guess it was 19 days. I got in the day before the last day. Right? So I was pretty happy with it. FOMO'd in pretty fair in PLS. And I thought things were going to launch within 6 weeks, 8 weeks max. He talked like it was going to happen in just a few weeks. So that's cool. Whatever. It's here we are a year, almost a full year later. And still patient. I blew all my money. So it wasn't a huge amount compared to all you fellas on here. I'm just a little tadpole. But I had some money saved up. Unleashed it on PLS. Got my security and all that stuff, right? That's how I heard about him. It's my buddy. Called me up, all excited. Oh my gosh, he was all excited.
Welcome to the Broken Bag Club. Welcome to the Broken Bag Club. Time to get new buddies.
No, my buddy, he's done me real well.
No, it
Wouldn't
sounds
trade
like
him for the world.
We have a buy signal developing here on Bitcoin and HEX.
Good stuff. So why should I change buddies, man?
So, yeah, I'm not advocating that.
John S., where have you been? We've been waiting to hear from you.
Stop in every once a month. I'll be back.
When are you going to be back so I'll know when to set my timer?
I don't know. I'm in and out, man.
Oh, is that John S? Is that you? Is that your voice, John? Is that John
Yes,
S?
yes, Crypto. I mean, Crypto John, I'm having dinner. I heard he came on. I had to say something.
Oh, John S, man. How you doing, man? How you doing?
What's up, bro?
So what's
Oh,
the
living a dream,
story?
brother.
What's the story, John?
What's the story? We're all
Are
buying
we going to go
Hex.
under 1 cent, Johnny? Are we going to go under 1 cent? What's your thoughts?
We're all buying Hex at 0.007.
Coming strong with the 0.007. Well,
Hopefully
John S, boy, he
everybody-
comes strong. When he comes strong, don't he?
John is, don't get everybody too excited.
Waiting for a Bitcoin bottom. That's all. Don't matter what Hex's price is. When we get a Bitcoin bottom, we're buying Hex and we're going to 10x our bag right away.
So what's the buy signal, John? Give me full report. What's the buy signal looking like?
$100.
The current buy signal on Hex is just a short-term trade. I'm not buying, but today looks like it's
fake out, right?
today. No, not a fake out. It's likely to be a double, possible triple from here if we get above 5.7. So this buy signal is a short-term trading signal. I'm not going to do it. I want to buy Hex under 2. But the way today's day is
5.7.
developing,
So specific.
the way today is developing. Oh, dude, if you were here the other day, it was at 4.2, and I said we're going to get up to 5.7 and come down. Yeah, we're micromanaging this. We get it to the exact hundredth of a penny.
Yeah. Oh,
But
cool.
yeah, there's right now it's a cross. It's a I guess you can call it a doji on a chart. And Bitcoin has a similar chart, so they're going to attempt to get above today's high. And if that happens, yeah, the door is open to test that 5.7. And if they get to 5.7, it's going to go all the way up. It's gonna go all the way up to like in the 7s, 8s, possibly. I'm not gonna say fucking 15, but yeah, we could get up into the 9s or 10s. We're hoping it goes lower though. We want to buy. We want to load the bag at Hex at 1.
Yeah, at this point, might as well just go as low as possible. I got a little bit of cheddar on the side.
There is
I
no
got no
bottom in
share.
Hex. No bottom in Hex until we get a day with volume on Uniswap of at least, shit, I can't tell what my volume level is here. There it is. Okay. We need a day of at least 83 million Hex on a single day. But if we get 42 million, that's a day that I would consider buying early and not waiting for the 87 million. And that's, of course, at a lower price, not where we're at now. I want to see a lower price with a ton of volume. And I want to see Bitcoin taking under 17.5. Then it'll be time to buy Hex. And not until then. Unless somebody's a trader. You know, you could get into Hex right here. If it goes down to 3.4, you get out. Or 3.48, you get out. Try it again. If it goes up 4, then you hold it. If it goes up to 5.7, you add 50% more. So you break this into 2. So you add you do half a bag down here. You add the other half a bag up there. Your cost average is 4, and you minimum double your money in a couple of weeks. somebody who's kind of antsy to get in, you get in with half your bag here. Hex goes against you, you hold, you hold, you hold. You buy the rest of the half a bag near 1. Now your cost average is like 2.25. And then, boom, you got the golden goose, man. Ride that sucker up to 25. 10 times your money.
No, you don't think we'll go all-time high over 50 in a while?
That's going to take years. That's going to take years. You're in this for the long haul, 3 to 5 years. Look, all you got to do is, if you don't know charts, you don't need to know them. Just pull up a chart of NDX, the NASDAQ 100. Make it a weekly chart and look how long it took the dot-com bubble to come back. 15 years. And that's what we are in right now. This is a repeat of the dot-com bubble. We are there right now. We are complete and utter destruction. Guys are getting liquidated. Companies are going bankrupt. And they're weeding out the bullshit and bringing out the real winners. And those real winners will take time to develop and have real life utilities in the crypto world, not just, bullshit, not just buy a coin, sell a coin. They'll have actual real things happening. And, if you find the right one, it's going to be 1,000x winner. But being on Pulse and PulseX those winners are going to have to use Pulse and PulseX. So, okay, maybe you don't get 1,000x on those, but 100, 300, hell yeah, I'll take that any day. But I don't know, man.
Go 300. You think it'll go 300x in 24 months?
From its low, yes. Well, let's call it 100x from its low. So what's going to happen is you sacrifice 5 grand, 10 grand, and you're going to wake up one day and it's going to be 1 grand. So from that 1 grand, I can see it going 100x. So in other words, this shit's going to come below your sacrifice by a lot. And anybody who doesn't buy when that happens is going to be sorry they didn't buy.
Interesting hypothesis.
Yeah, I mean, I've been telling guys for the last few days, the protocol right now is to get your bag back and to pay for your bag. So if your bag is, say, 12 cents hex, and you're kind of waiting to get in, or maybe you got a cost average of 10 and you're waiting to get in. Well, when it goes to 1 cent, you're down 90% on your money. So you only need 10% more of fresh money to go in there and buy hex at 1 penny. And when it goes back up to your break even, you're selling that portion of the bag and you're holding your original investment. You just paid for the investment. It's free. There's $10,000 in your bank. And you got $10,000 in hex. It's gravy. You don't give a shit about it, right? Let it go to 0. Let it go to 100, and you got 100. You get hex up to $1.50, and you're sitting pretty, man. Seriously. And then you do the same thing again. Goes up to 25. Maybe you took 15x or something, 10x, whatever it is, and you missed 10 more. You missed 15x, and it comes back down to 4. Boom. You dry powder in again with that 10,000. So now you're in at 4 from 10,000. The next time around, it goes up to 35. So you 9 times your 10,000. Now you got 90 grand. You get out. Get the fuck out. And it comes back down to your 10 average in. And maybe this time you're only putting in 50 grand. You're like, I don't want to mess with my 90. You throw in 50 grand at your 10 cost average after 3 cycles that you got in and out. Why'd you do that? Well, because we saw it drop to 1 again before. And I just don't want to take that chance. So then it comes down to 3. And you put the other 40 grand in. And now your cost average on your 90 grand is somewhere around 6, something like that, in the 6s with 90,000. Then we go to all-time highs. We're not just going to go to all-time highs. They're going to bust through that shit. You go to all-time highs, you go up to 85 cents. You cash in. You
Let me
just
ask you a question, John.
you 13 times your
Yes, sir.
90 grand. That is $1 million right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quick question, buddy. The performance of Hex within the first 2 years, would you have, as a wild card prediction, would you have predicted it going up so much from its all-time low to its all-time high within that 2 years? Would you have thought? Just curious.
I would have given you. I mean, nobody's going to predict the all-time high.
Of course,
I would have
right.
right. I would, and nobody's going to predict X's. The only thing I would have been able to do is give you exact price points on the way up, and say, okay, here I'm scrolling back while you're telling me this, and I'm giving you an example.
Right. I was examining it. I was examining the history and the algorithm, sort of, so to speak, the rhythm that it has. I don't know what we call that crypto, but there's a rhythm. It seems to be like a 3 to 4 month rhythm, I guess. And I was kind of looking back, and I was just curious about your opinion about whether it was a little bit shocking of the success within the first 24 months.
No, it's not shocking because that's what crypto was doing. It was gearing up to pop and go, and it was a no-brainer. So you bought Hex at 8.008 because it hit a level where I said, guys, we're probably going to start going up here. It's a good time to get in. And then you bought more at 14.014. So your cost average was about 1 cent, 0.011, call it. And then it bumped up to 2, pretty much doubled your money. And at that point, I'm selling. But even if you didn't, you're holding. Comes down, it breaks that level again. It just kept doing breakouts, dude. It would go up, hit a level where, I mean, if you saw this chart, I should put this on my phone. Maybe I'll do it later tonight. It hit a monthly resistance to the 100th of a penny at 0.022. This was in April of 21. And you've got to be a seller there because they're going to come down. And they went down all the way to 0.014. So you lost like 40% of your money. But had you sold it up there, you're then buying it back down at 0.015. And then they ripped it higher, still higher, still higher, still higher, all the way up to like 6.5. And at that point, I have really no indications of selling. Yeah, you could sell it right up around 6s, and then you're buying it back in the 4s. That's just a normal, no-brainer trade. But you could have held that because it gave no breakdown of the trend ever. Went up to 10, came down to 7. Still, the trend is not broken. The way they break the 10 is if it went up to 10, down to 7, up to 9, and then below 7, that means the trend is broken. When it fails to do a new high and then goes back down below a recent low, the trend is over. It's done. Which actually kind of happened when it went to 19 down to 10.8. But the next up move up to 15 was only like 2 days. So when it came back down and barely broke that low at 10.8, it went to like 10.7. That doesn't qualify as breaking the trend. No fucking way. That's part of the overall trend. And then it started breaking higher, breaking higher. And this is right around. I knew it was going to break hard because they tried to get me into HEX then. But I didn't understand it, and I stayed away. And I said, yeah, you're going to go. I measured it. I said 20 to 12. You're going to go up to at least 32. And that's where we went. We went to 32, and we kept going. 36. They kept bugging me, trying to get me into HEX. It hit another beautiful resistance point from 46, came down, and allowed you to get back in at 35. And it just kind of still didn't break the trend, still dicked around. Oh, yeah, it did finally. Wait a second. See, this doesn't really qualify as a trend break. It did this like weird ass head and shoulders. Oh, no, no. That's when 50 was the high. So, yeah. So it goes down, up, down. And as soon as it traded 35 after 50 cents, the trend was broken. And then it never looked back. That's where we are today. But on the way down, it was really cool. And I was in those rooms. You heard me talking. I would give the levels. Actually, no, I wasn't there then, but I gave it to my buddies. I didn't come in until like December or so, January. But I gave pretty much exact levels to the day, to the minute of where it should reverse and go the opposite direction. And then that was about when you started hearing me in the other room. And that's all we're doing, man. We're just charting this thing and micromanaging it and watching it go. And that brings us to today. And I thought that May 27th would be a significant bottom, not the bottom. I knew we would be back below that, but I thought there was a chance it would be a significant bottom that would take us up to near 15. But it just kind of stalled. And we never got above certain moving averages that just totally killed that idea. And now here we are. It formed this little bottom the other day under 3. And it's a half-assed bullshit bottom. I don't like it at all. And here we are now, coming down again. But from a trading standpoint, just over the last 10 days, I see today as a turning point, short term. Definitely not the bottom, but a definite turning point that has the potential to finally get this fucker up to what I said, not quite 15. That 15 target is lowered by like 0.25 per day. So over like a week, you lose a good penny. 14. Well, no, is it a week? About 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you lose 1 full penny as a target, and it keeps dropping and dropping. It's a falling target. And then on July 1st, in 2 days, we will have new levels that will be areas where this thing wants to go. So that brings up an interesting scenario. What it's going to want to do, yeah, it's going to be a beautiful thing, because the midpoint, which is the actual pivot for the month of July, is going to be right around 5.8. And the probability of hitting that is extremely high.
Hey guys, I have a quick question. I've put a link. I got sent this link. It's a D apps validation. I was just wondering if it was legit or fake. Guys, can you just let me know? I just need some validation. Cheers.
What do you mean you got sent a link? A link to what? And from who? What the fuck? What are we talking about?
It's from some Pulsechain moderator. That's why I just put it in chat.
I ain't clicking. I ain't
sure?
clicking no link, man.
Are you
Huh?
sure? Are you sure the guy was an administrator? What's the guy's name?
Says that. I'll send it to you.
I'll be clicking on what's the guy's name? You know, because
What is the guy's name? Admins don't do that. Nobody sends you a private message. That's all bullshit. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, well, that's what had happened. So I'm just letting you know.
Don't click on it, man.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Unless you actually asked for something, you will not receive anything from admins.
That sounds about right. All right. Cheers.
There's evil people in here just waiting for people to click on a link.
Yeah, they were asking for a seed phrase. I thought it was a bit sus.
Always. Yeah, and don't paste the links into chat because you'll probably get banned most of the time.
Oh, thanks. You out there sending links? No. Dinner.
So, are people selling right along Bitcoin, selling HEX? It is so weird how all these coins follow, but just selling at the same time. And the other 5.8 pivot point, now if we hit that, you're saying it may go, it might be stronger going up than we get past it.
About today's potential buy signal on this HEX. Again, it's just a bullshit short-term trade that I would not do. It's very weak because there's just no volume. Not even like a little bump in volume that says, hey, let's try a trade here. There's just nothing. It's just a cross. That's all it is. And often crosses lead to reversals. And it's in this range, you know, the range of the range of the last few weeks. It's like, nah, I don't think so. Bitcoin too. Bitcoin's in this fucked up range, and why even attempt to do a trade in this range? Nothing's going to happen to Bitcoin until it gets below like 19,600 or above 21,800. So there's a $2,000 range of a window that has to be plowed through on Bitcoin for HEX or anything else to move in whatever direction hits first.
Hey Ninja, can you send me the or forward me a link from that guy that sent you that link?
Yeah, dude. Of course. I'll get it to you now.
Yeah, just DM it to me. Profact.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see if we can
Send it to you now.
get him or not.
I'll look at that.
Hey guys, I'm holding USDC. Is it advisable to change it back into fiat during these times?
Where are you holding it? Are you holding it on exchange or in your wallet or where?
Half on Binance, half on Ledger. But I want to switch it over to fiat and like put it in my bank account during these times.
If you can, well, if you can instantly get your money into, what were you going to do with it? Were you planning on buying Hex or what? What were you going to do with this money?
Just buy the dip. Just buy Bitcoin. Half of it Bitcoin. I have like 5K. Half Bitcoin, half Pulsechain.
You can't buy Pulsechain until it comes out.
I know. I thought it would came out already. I mean, everyone knew.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. As long as you're able to get your to get it back from your bank back to the exchange within minutes, like if I sent money from my bank to the exchange, in this case it's a centralized exchange, it would be like Coinbase, that money is available instantly, and you're probably going to want to have that, although you're going to have a full day really or two to get in. But I think that's probably not a bad idea to have all your money in your bank account if you're waiting for a Bitcoin bottom. I don't see that it makes sense to keep it on the exchange, because who the fuck knows, they can make these fucking exchanges go bankrupt. We don't know. And
You actually have
considering
a
you
good
just,
point there, dude.
what's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say, John, like you have a good point there. Like we've seen with other networks where they've just completely gone bankrupt, like Luna and other coins, altcoins. They make promises they can't keep. They say they'll go to the moon, and then they just plummet and become bankrupt, and then everyone loses their money and their stake.
That's why it's just kind of risky, I think, to hold it on any exchange. I mean, I got mine sitting on on Coinbase, but I know I can move that around fairly quickly, and I'm watching carefully the Coinbase stock just in case anything crazy may happen with it in the future. I mean, I can't see Coinbase going bankrupt, man. There's just no way, because they've got 100 million customers. So I feel fairly comfortable keeping my fiat money on Coinbase. And I'm seeing over the last month and a half a massive amount of volume coming into their stock. So institutional money is just screaming into Coinbase. So I feel comfortable keeping my money on Coinbase until I'm ready to pull the trigger, transfer it to my MetaMask, and instantly buy what I need to buy. I don't feel comfortable keeping a lot of money on something like a Binance or anything else, really. because Binance is not on the stock exchange. They're not backed by Wall Street. Coinbase is.
So is it fiat sitting in Coinbase or is it USDC?
I've got mine sitting in fiat. It's 100% cash right now.
So it's USD.
US dollar on Coinbase.
Otherwise, you could just put it on your ledger, but then you're playing with the stable coin.
No, I don't need to do that because
stable.
I can buy USDC in 1 second. And trust me, I will do that when I smell it. I don't smell it yet. So I'll do it, and then I'll have the USDC sitting in the wallet. But it won't be but a day or two before the bottom. When I start smelling that bottom, that money's going right into the MetaMask. And we may not catch the exact bottom. If that price is right, I've got 2 places that I'm going to put that money. One of those places actually is getting there really quick to be the price is right, but I'll hold. I won't buy it yet. I'm waiting for Bitcoin, waiting for HEX. And when HEX gets to the right place and the right scenario of more volume is coming in on that day, I'm jumping in. I don't give a shit if it goes lower than where I bought it. But we're not there yet. I don't see it. And there is a possibility we never get there. You know, if this thing starts going up for 6 weeks and you see HEX go to like 9 or 10, I highly doubt Pulse is going to be announced yet. So then we're going to get a pullback. And when we get that pullback, it'll be the same scenario. I'll be looking for big volume to come in and may end up buying the damn thing at 4 instead of waiting for the possibility of 1. It really all depends on Bitcoin. We need to get Bitcoin below 17,500 again, and we need it to capitulate down. We need it to bleed. That means we need HEX under 1 cent. That's bleeding. But HEX is resilient, man. It doesn't just, it likes to tease and stay sideways a little bit and not tank as much as Bitcoin tanked. And that's a good thing, because if we do get around 1 cent and Bitcoin's taking, I got no problem going all in, and I don't care if it went to half a cent. I'm good with anywhere between 1 and 2, or slightly below 1 and all the way up to 2 cents. So we're looking for a stock market dump. We're looking for a Bitcoin dump. And we're looking for a HEX drop. Doesn't necessarily have to be a HEX dump, just a drop. Drop, give me some volume, we'll go. We'll go in. But when we get little buy signals like I'm getting today, that delays the whole shit. Because Bitcoin can reverse up here, HEX can reverse up here, and it's going to be a long fucking summer, man.
I need a quick opinion about something. So before I bought into HEX, I think it was at like 12 cents. I sold off, I think, around 14. And now I'm looking, I kind of regret it because I wish I just kept staking and I kept holding. I was thinking about getting more, about like 1,000 AUD worth. Should I buy now or should I wait a bit longer?
So if you want to do the conservative approach,
like
I would
what do you
wait
think
till
is the best option?
For me, the best strategy is to wait.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
For somebody who truly believes in HEX and doesn't care what this price is, and is, some of these guys are in from 15 and higher.
I'll say.
Buying here with 50% and using the other 50% if it went down to 1 cent is a very wise thing, I think. But I just don't like buying in this zone. I hate it. It's a channel. It's a sideways channel for Bitcoin.
Do you reckon too much volatility?
Yeah. And that's the other thing. I'm also waiting for a spike in volatility.
Yeah.
So once we get that HEX spike in volatility and the Bitcoin spike in volatility, that obviously will happen on the way down. That's going to be our signal that we're pretty much at a bottom. We have all the pieces to the puzzle in place. We're having the bankruptcies. We're having the liquidations. All we need now is for people to throw in the fucking towel and just dump it. Where Bitcoin just starts dumping. That's throwing in the towel. And that's what creates the bottom.
But we say this a lot
right
with
now.
Even Ethereum, right?
Yeah, same situation. Ethereum, Bitcoin, HEX, all exactly the same situation. They have to travel together.
Okay. No, cheers for that. Appreciate it.